They're trading with modestly high gains. This after following gains coming in on the Wall Street.
Sources close to DHFL told us that the payment is coming on June 9th.
I think it's played out now. Contagion is obviously something that we'll talk about.
It's a flat opening, 10 points higher on the Nifty.
PNGRB has hiked the tariff for HVG and HVG upgradation pipeline.
60 points lower on the Nifty. We're at about, 11,962.
The decision has been to reduce the repo rate by 25 basis points and also to change the stance of monetary policy from neutral to accommodative.
There is a dramatic shift in the liquidity from the May to June, and now there is a lot of surplus liquidity. The bank should be in a position to cut.
This is a very, very dovish policy, and the post-policy press conference reiterated that.
We're down 130 points on the Nifty. We're at the day's low.
And add some more to that, since the time Prashant spotted that, 170 points lower now on the Nifty, 700 points down on the Bank Nifty, and this is weekly options expiry today. So prepare yourself for a very volatile last, hour, 1 hour 15 minutes. Actually, you started the show early because the market is just so volatile. Surabhi, hi, good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Anuj. I don't know who would call it this, this afternoon as a good one because of what's underway. Now, a couple of things. I remember discussing this with you. In any case, even I was waiting for the market's verdict post the policy because that's when the positioning and the excitement of a rate cut, all of that was built in perhaps on Monday. But what we've got is a policy along expected lines. What we've got is also an unexpected credit event. So where does it leave this market now?
Look, I'll tell you one thing. For starters, this is not your routine run-of-the-mill fall. This is market's reaction to an event. You have to respect that. As simple as that. The markets had a one-way rally, and now the market is seeing decline. This is not one of those markets where you try to be cute and say, okay, see the uptrend is intact and the market's given me an opportunity to buy and let me do that. So to be far from that, the way the Bank Nifty has collapsed, and DHFL clearly is the main worry right now. This is a bit of a systemic risk. I know you're very busy with it, with all the tweets that you're getting. Yeah. But there's 2 or 3 points that one should really talk about. This contagion that we spoke about in the morning as well, Surabhi. That what happens from here on? DHFL itself is a problem, yes, but DHFL is what, 1 lakh crore book. Now you're talking about who all has exposure to DHFL. And what next after DHFL? I think that's the main worry. This is not to create any panic situation, but you have to report what the screen is telling you. And the screen is not giving you good feeling. The market sort of tried to fight back up until policy. I think there was a hope that in policy perhaps something will be done, it will be addressed. That didn't happen. But even if that had happened, I think the market had made up its mind that it needed some trigger to correct, and I think this is the trigger. My sense is today is the start of a corrective phase in the market. We've had a one-way rally from 11,100 to 12,100 thereabout. There was a 1,000-point rally. It's not unusual for the market to give back half of that. So if we correct back to say 11,500 thereabout, I think the market should be extremely lucky. Just see what's happening. For example, look at DHFL, and you see what's happening with DHFL and the DHFL futures. Now that's corrected a bit, but in between, futures were down 22% when the spot was down 10 or 11%. Look at what happened to Reliance Capital and compare it to what's happening with the futures. 7% down on the spot and 13% down on the futures. So this is not good sign. Look at stocks like Piramal Enterprises. I think the way they're falling. I think the biggest fear right now is what's happening with IndusInd Bank, because now while I have no way of knowing how much is IndusInd's exposure to DHFL, but this is one of the big four, right, in terms of private banks, and this is one of those. This is not a small stock. This is a very large stock. The way that has collapsed today, 7-8%. I think that in nutshell, the stock reaction to IndusInd Bank is telling you what the market is fearing right now.
So that's, of course, a couple of these big stocks that are feeling the heat. I mean, today the statement from Indiabulls Housing, for instance, coming out and reiterating that our liquidity position is not bad and we have X amount of money in the bank. But none of that really has helped. That stock is struggling at the day's low despite all the numbers that were put out by this company. Are we then looking at, for the market, overall lower levels? I mean, the contrarians have argued that this is largely a problem limited to 2 or 3 groups. So why do you want to throw more taxpayer money out?
I think which is where this whole crisis is going to create a buying opportunity in the names which are falling only because of fears. Now, I'm not saying that India Bulls is one of them, that you should go out and buy India Bulls. That's not what I'm saying. But what I'm saying is that if you see a lot of good quality stocks also correct because of this issue, that will present a buying opportunity. However, you need to put it in context that we are sitting on a 3,000 point, 4,000 point bank nifty rally. We're sitting on 1,000 point nifty rally. It's not a light market, it's a very heavy market on which you got this news flow. If it was a market which was say 3 or 4 months back when we were already in a sort of a bear phase, you said okay, it's fine. But because we've had such a big rally and the market was extremely net long, there's no cushion of shorts. That's the other big worry, that everyone is long in this market, and that's this event came out of the blue, even though mentally we were prepared for something like this.
But we were on the hope trade mode.
Exactly.
We were choosing to ignore some of these problems beneath the surface.
We always knew that something is going to give, but when the event happens, the market reacts.
Well, it's a bit of a mini nightmare for the market coming true. Let's see how this plays out over the next couple of days and hours. Let's get started. This is a special edition of Closing Bell. Let's tell you what's lined up. The market, of course, has been very unimpressed with the RBI's 25 basis points rate cut. The selling accentuates in the second half of the day. Financials driving the market lower. So what is the road ahead as it grapples with issues like DHFL? We're getting lots of views today. Ajay Srivastava, CEO of Dimensions Corporate Finance, joins in. We'll also get you a call from Dhananjay Sinha of IDFC Securities on the slightly longer term trajectory. Of course, market is reacting to a lot of these contagion worries. Stocks like DHFL, India Bulls Housing, Reliance Capital, all of them in focus today. We'll be discussing them with the experts, SP Tulsian of sptulsian.com, Prakash Diwan, and Sudeep Bandopadhyay of IndiTrade Capital. And of course, for the traders out there, calls coming in, ideas for the last hour with Ashwini Gujral and Mitesh Thakkar.
Okay, as we speak, the market set a fresh intraday low and Sensex about to break 39,500. Ashwini and Mitesh with us for the last hour calls. Ashwini, what do you make of this fall? 730 points now on the bank nifty and about 186 on the nifty. Has the texture of the market completely changed with today? And how do you approach it? A, from the last hour point of view, and B, from positional point of view?
Well, obviously, the 170 point rally that we got the other day, that has been cleaned out. And now, with news flow plus this sort of large move, I think we are in a trending, correcting mode. So, you could go down 500-600 points on the Nifty and Bank Nifty. You could easily clean out 2,000-2,500 points because the market was overstretched and this was waiting to happen. Once, last couple of days there was no follow through, and yesterday, day before, we had a very narrow range day. So the entire energy of the market is kind of blasting on the downside. So there is more coming. I don't think we'll get off with this 11,850 type of levels. I think at least you could have an equal amount on the downside still to come in. Having said that, banks, PNBs are sell with a stop of 83, target of 75. Tata Steel is a sell with a stop of 492, target of 470. And IGL is a buy with a stop of 344, target of 363.
Okay, so of course more sells than buys on Ashwini's list for perhaps obvious reasons. That's how it's playing out. Let's bring in Mitesh's call as well. Mitesh, good afternoon. The day completely belongs to the Bears. They've made a huge comeback. Your thoughts on the index and of course stocks?
Good afternoon. See, I think I was expecting, that we might test 11,900 because we were quite overbought. Never realized that it could be such a strong or a severe selling, much stronger than what at least I had anticipated. So in that sense, yes, the decline is strong, but let's see if it can, when we were going up, we did take some pause around the 11,800, 790 zone. So we are not very far away from that. let's see if that level can hold and we can see some consolidation happening. If that happens, then we'll possibly after a few days of sideways activity might again try and reattempt to get past 12,000 levels. But for the time being, 11,790 is the level which I'm watching. The stock calls that I have a sell on Sun Pharma with a stop at 412, targets of 393, and CESC is a buy. Keep a stop at 744, look for targets of 785.